Hey everybody, welcome back. You may have seen in the comments already that Hellcoda won the competition as to which truck is going to get painted first. So after talking to John, we're probably going to be painting the Hellcoda Memorial Weekend. As for today's video, we're going to be checking out the C3 and doing an oil change. So here's our C3. My parents bought this about 2 decades ago for less than 10 grand out of Atlanta. Granted, it was a different color back then and needed a ton of work, but it did make the drive home back to Florida. It is a factory 350 automatic. As you can see, it's had a little bit of work done over the years. We do have the original non-LE88 hood, as well as the rally wheels, the original transmission. All of that's in storage right now, so we can put it back on the car if we ever need to. The interior's been redone in black. Was a few years ago, but as you can see, it's still holding up pretty well. And it is an auto car, AC, all the fun stuff. As far as why we want to paint it, the paint job's about 2 decades old. As you can see, it's starting to crack again along the top ridge on both fenders. We've got a few little bumps and chips here and there, as well as we got nice little gouge and scratch out of it. Storage problems, bumping it with the bottom of the lift right here. Put a nice little crack in it. And that's really about it. So this originally was a war bonnet yellow car. They painted it midnight blue back when they first redid it about 2 decades ago. And we're getting ready to redo it again come December once we move to the new shop. It should be about the same blue as I paint the 300. Alright, so let's get started with this oil change. Fun fact, it does have hooker headers on it. They've obviously been making good parts for a long time. The oil drain plug is right here in the back of the pan on this 350. And this one happens to be a 14 millimeter. While that's draining, this is our oil filter up here right behind this header. To take this oil filter off, we have a oil filter wrench end cap or cup, whichever you prefer to call it, and a 3/8 ratchet. It'll make it easy to get the job done. So you just place the cup on the end of the filter like that, and then you can just break it loose. So then we're just turning it the rest of the way by hand. As you can see, we have our pan underneath to catch the oil that falls out. And let's see. So from there, we just wipe up any oil that spilled and got on anything. Just like so. And we will wipe up around where the oil filter goes on the engine block. So the part number for this oil filter, if it's a Fram, it is PH5 for these 350s. We're going to use 5W30 oil. And we'll put a little oil on the top ring, this rubber ring, around the top of the filter to help it seal a little bit. So now we've got it all cleaned up in here, we can put the new oil filter on. Now we got it up here. You want it snug, just hand tight. You don't want to use any kind of wrenches on this to tighten it. Then we'll tighten our bolt up and start putting some oil in it. To put oil back in one of these 350s, usually there's a nice little cap on the valve cover. But with these aftermarket valve covers, we're going to end up taking off the breather with a slotted screwdriver and pouring it in through there with a funnel. Got the breather off, and we are going to put a nice little funnel in here and do about 5 quarts of 5W30 and see where we are from there. All right, so we've got 5 quarts of oil in. Let's check the level. So first we want to wipe off the dipstick so we can get an accurate reading, and then place it back in here all the way. And we are full. If you can see up in there where it says full. Alright, so that's it for changing the oil on a Chevy Corvette with a 350. Alright, so that's it for changing the oil on a 1971 Corvette C3 with a Chevy 350 in it. Let me know in the comments down below if you all want to see more C3 Corvette content. We do have an AC compressor that needs to be replaced. It is already converted over to R134, so it shouldn't be that crazy. We'll also be checking out the O-rings in the AC system as well to make sure it's not leaking anywhere. So be sure to like, subscribe, and follow along. We'll be doing a full restoration on this here come beginning of next year.